Hi there, this is Matt with State of Flux here with a review for How to Train Your Dragon, the live-action adaptation. I finally got around to seeing it. My daughter and wife went to see it opening weekend, and I fully expected my daughter would like it so much that I would then be taking her a second time, but no, not really. She was like, yeah, it's just the same thing. And I was like, so you don't want to go again? And she was like, nah. So I just never saw it in theaters, and I have to agree that her assessment is pretty much on point. The only reason I'm really doing this is I have relative confidence that this movie is going to get nominated for a couple of Academy Awards for like maybe sound, visual effects, some set design stuff maybe. But the reason I decided I wanted to talk about it is because I wanted to highlight how adaptation is important. And this is a direct translation of How to Train Your Dragon. It is almost a scene-for-scene, almost shot-for-shot remake of that animated film, which was done in 3D animation, so that it sort of pivots and acts as if it's real life, which already has the question of, like, why remake this? Even more so when you do nothing to change it, which is weird, because the core element that doesn't work here is the humor. The humor, as written, is written and plays well in animation. I remember that movie being funny, and it's not that the stuff is poorly delivered here. It's just that it's not executed well because it's changed its medium. And so anytime humor's at play, the movie falls flat. Where this film excels, I think, even above the original animated film, is its use of action. The action has weight. It has like an oomph to it that you don't get in the animated realm. And it's a fascinating thing to like watch this. I think as fascinating and interesting as it is to watch Psycho and then Gus Van Sant's Psycho, I think this is even more interesting because you have two films by the same director that are essentially the exact same. And it sort of illustrates an interesting highlight between two mediums. The other thing that works better in this, and has always been good for How to Train Your Dragon, is the score. The score of How to Train Your Dragon, I think, is one of the best scores for any animated film. And in live action, it is just that much better. It is powerful, and it hits you emotionally so well. To the point where if they do make the other two movies, I'm not going to be disappointed because it was visually stimulating enough. And I just kind of want to see how they continue to do this. Are they going to ever make any changes? Or are we just going to get the same repackaged property two other times? It's fascinating. But yeah, I think this movie's good. I don't think it's any better or worse than the original movie. I think people kind of highlight that original film and elevate its quality a little bit too much for my liking. I think it's a good movie, just as I think this is a good movie. I think its sequel and both sequels I think are better than that first movie. So maybe that's why I'm a little more excited to see the other sequels. What did you think of the remake live-action How to Train Your Dragon? Let me know in the comment area down below. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Peace.